Hello, ladies and gents. Getting started in 10 seconds. Okay, another 5. Making sure everybody's connected. Okay, all right, so let me move YouTube a little bit. All right, sorry about that. Hey, how are you? Can you hear me? I said hello. Are you listening? Shout out to the young lady that started that. I don't know her name. Can you hear me? Hello. Okay, so going to go ahead and get started. Shout out to YouTube, shout out to Skool, Instagram, and Facebook. All right, let's get rolling. So, we're talking about fasting, which is a way to reclaim your power and your health. All right. So, when you find yourself standing in front of a fridge, fully aware that you're not even hungry, but you still are reaching for something to eat, you're brushing up against a deeper truth, right? Because hunger is not always physical. Did you guys know that? Hunger is not always physical. A lot of times it's emotional, it's spiritual, and it's energetic. All right. So, one powerful way to get your power back into the driver's seat is that your habits is through fasting. So whether you do it alone or with a community or a group of people, which I started out doing with a group of people, um, fasting becomes a way to remove a lot of the noise, because a lot of times we can just scroll through social media. So many people are saying this and that. So fasting just helps remove all of that. Okay. It creates peace, it gives you just room to listen to really what's going on. All right. So, because our bodies stop digesting food, our soul starts digesting truth at the same time. So, in that quietness, our bodies come face to face with truth, with what's really going on, with what you're really truly craving all along. And usually, again, it's not about calories, it's about clarity. Okay. So let's explore like a few real needs that emotional hunger often disguises. All right. So, number one is comfort. How many times have we eaten because of comfort? Okay. Usually, a lot of times, the food that we crave when we want some comfort is macaroni and cheese or just anything creamy and thick. That's usually when we want something like that. So, that's something for you to be like, okay, why do I really want this? Is it because I need a hug? Is it because I don't know, like, am I lonely? It's usually those kind of reasons of why we want something thick and creamy, soupy sometimes, warm, things of that nature. Okay. So instead of just reaching toward that food automatically, ask yourself, what else in my life can I reclaim control of with grace instead of impulse? Okay. Ask yourself, where else in my life can I reclaim control with grace instead of impulse? Because again, a lot of comfort foods ask about, they look like, I need to feel held. That's why you want those creamy type foods. those rich type foods and cheesy type foods. It's because you want to soothe something in your life. So, what else can you use to soothe yourself without numbing yourself? Numbing yourself isn't always about alcohol. We can numb ourselves with food as well. So, ask yourself, how can I get the comfort that I'm searching for outside of food? Okay. All right. The next one is about control. When chaos is really big in our lives, um, food sometimes is the only thing that we can control. Yes, right? Exactly. Exactly. Okay. So it comes from choosing to pause and observe and respond with intention. So ask once again, how can you, first of all, take a pause as always. Always pause before reaching for something. Someone says something to make you upset, just pause for a second. Take an alkalizing breath, which, by the way, can help people stop smoking just by taking those constant and practicing those deep breaths. Yes, because nicotine is not a excuse me, it's not an addiction. The research has been done. It's not an addiction, it's just simply a habit. So if you can get yourself in a habit of taking deep alkalizing breaths, I have 5 timers set in my phone where I pause no matter what I'm doing. I don't care. I'm going to take those alkalizing breaths because just like an athlete, which I played basketball in college, we practice before the game time. So if you practice these breaths, once something stressful comes along, you'll know exactly what to do and your nervous system won't rise up really quick. It's already being practiced to stay calm. Okay? All right, emotional eating is also about connection. So cravings often creep in when we feel disconnected from others, from our purpose, from ourselves, even. So that bite of food might be standing in for a conversation or a hug or a moment of real presence. So what you can do is ask yourself, who or what am I truly missing right now? Because a lot of times, again, whether it's food or alcohol, we're craving something outside of ourselves. Okay. I'm going to come back to your comment in a second. Okay. And also you guys on Skool and Facebook. All right. We sometimes reach for food when we are really missing excitement in our lives. So the crunch that you like from chips and whatnot, the flavor, all of that is just distraction. And we're overeating to fill a void. So what kind of ways can you guys get creative instead of just going for food all the time? What creative ways can you guys I color? Yes, I actually bought myself a coloring book not too long ago, but it actually worked because during my 3 days dry fast, and I'll explain what a dry fast is soon. I didn't want to watch TV because what's on TV all the time? Food commercials 90% of the time. So I didn't want to see any of that. Plus, I'm growing out of the phases of wanting to watch TV a lot anyway, because there's just not really much on there. So yes, coloring book is a great idea. You must have heard me before. You must have been listening to me. Um, yeah, so go out for a walk, absolutely. And I know some people are just like, oh, I don't want to exercise. I want to just, grab some food and chew. Again, that's one of the easiest thing to do. That's why food is the most addictive thing on earth. Well, actually not food. It's sugar. They put sugar in everything to make it addictive, right? They put it in everything to make it addictive. So that's why it's even harder to get off this wheel. But through my program, I teach you guys how to do it step by step. But don't worry about that. All right, the next thing that our emotions are calling for is worthiness. So sometimes eating becomes a silent way of saying, I matter, right? But you never had to earn your worth through a treat. Your existence is the reward itself. So, a better question to ask is, can I feel worthy without needing something sweet to prove it? Can you feel worthy without needing something sweet to prove it? Okay, let's go deeper real quick. Now, here's something that might blow your mind. All right. Um, According to research around fasting physiology, the body doesn't even begin to experience deep biological hunger until days 38 to 42. We don't reach biological hunger until days 38 to 42. Okay? Now I'm talking about true survival level of hunger. Does that surprise anybody? You guys are going, right? Okay. So let that sink in, because there's times where, I'll do a fast at least a couple of times a year. And when I learned that information, it helped me psychologically to go deeper. It's like, okay, to check in, because this is day 5 for me on my fast. And every time I ask myself, am I hungry? The answer is truly no. And it's just shocking. I'm just like, I've gone 5 days without food. How is it that I'm not hungry? It's because we've been conditioned to think that we need to eat 3 times a day with snacks in between. That's why. But when you really check in with yourself, self gonna be like, huh? Self is gonna say, no, I'm not even hungry. Okay? So our bodies are so intelligent that it knows how to run on stored nutrients and internal recycling systems, which is a process called autophagy. It goes on that for weeks at a time, especially when supported with water and rest. So by day 4 of my fast, I added spring water, and I wanted to sip slow and just be mindful, very much so, how it's going down my body, because I've had digestive issues to where I bloat really easily, even when eating plants. Even when, because I'm 100% plant based, have zero desire to go back. Does that mean I teach my clients to do the same? Absolutely not. Now, I used to think that everybody needed to be plant based, but not anymore. Okay. But our bodies are so intelligent, it knows how to run on stored nutrients and internal recycling systems for weeks and weeks at a time. That's why, again, we don't get biologically hungry until 38 to day 42. So that's why in ancient cultures and modern holistic traditions, fasting isn't about starvation, it's about rejuvenation. Did you guys know that you can rejuvenate your whole entire body in just 2 years? Yes. In just 2 years, you can rejuvenate your whole entire body. You can get a whole new body within 2 years. So if you're having liver troubles, kidney, blood, you can filter out your blood completely in just 3 weeks. 3 weeks, you can filter out your blood. You can have whole new blood in 3 weeks. Now think about what that means. I don't want to say it on live, but think about what that means. If you can cleanse your blood in just 3 weeks, I'm sorry, 3 months, not 3 weeks, 3 months. Think about how powerful that is. Okay. Now let's talk about breatharians. Now, breatharians are individuals who believe that the human body can survive, even thrive on just air alone. Okay. Now, of course, it's a little bit more than just air. It's, sunlight, and it's also just a little bit of water. But their entire lives is just mainly air, a little bit of sunlight, and water. Now, before you guys continue to go crazy in the chat, I know. Just hear me out. I'm not suggesting that any of you guys go and stop eating, okay? Or that everyone should try to live on air. And to be honest with you, I don't see myself ever going that route. I don't desire that at all. I do love food. Food is very enjoyable for me. Um, but what I'll say is this: the works of breatharians remind us of a very powerful truth that most of us are eating based on want and habit and not true need. So if people can just live off of air and sunlight and a little bit of water, most of us, what are we doing? We're eating off of want and desire and not true need. These people represent an extreme version of intuitive eating, right? But like being fully in tune with the body's real requirements instead of cultural patterns or cravings. That's dope. That is absolutely amazing. So while science hasn't fully, verified or endorsed long-term breatharianism, it absolutely has shown prolonged fasting can lead to so many different benefits like deeper cell repair, lower inflammation, enhanced mental clarity, which I'm telling you guys, I had brain fog from when I was getting my PhD in educational psychology and research. And I've just been experiencing, and this was last May, but I've still been experiencing some brain fog and just stumbling over simple words, not being able to remember just easy things. So I was like, I've got to do another fast. And it does increase your mental clarity because you've got to think. You can't do things on autopilot anymore because since you're not eating, you've got to think about, um, and during a dry fast, you got to think it's like, we're not showering, we're not washing our hands, we're not doing these things that are normal to us. And I'm slightly OCD, so that part of the dry fast was very challenging, as always. But this is the third or fourth time I've done it, so it gets easier and easier at different times. So, or the more I do it, it gets easier. See, I need to go back. So anyway, some other benefits is hormonal imbalances, just all kinds of things, right? Improving your gut, which is another big reason why I did it. So my personal journey with fasting is, again, let me keep it 100 with you. Again, I'm not trying to do breatharianism. Let me know in the chat if you guys are. If that's inspiring to you, let me know. Let me know. Let me know. But I do deeply respect the practice of fasting. And I do believe that it's one of the most enlivening things that you can do for yourself, the most loving ways that you can show for yourself. It really is. Most people say, like, well, I'm not going to get into that. So, anyway, I was first introduced to fasting by my high school sweetheart's mother. She had such wisdom, just talking to me about the power of water fasting, detoxing, like true detoxing. This is well before, it's 30 years ago, well before all these detoxes and flat tummy teas or whatever are on the market now, but a real true detox, and the power of getting rest. So at the time, when she was talking about fasting and I was like, not eating, yeah, I was like rolling my eyes. And I pretty much tuned her out. I just didn't get it. So if there's anyone listening to me now that don't get it, I get it because that was me a long time ago, right? But 30 years later, whew, like I definitely understand. She planted a seed, and hopefully, I'm so grateful for it that it finally took root, because it was just I don't know. I just remember the things that she was saying to me 30 years later. So, my first time trying to fast, I didn't even last a full day. It just felt too impossible because I didn't know yet how to listen to my body without fear. So the next two times I joined a 21-day fasting group, that changed everything for me. Like being able to have people to check in with and talk to, laugh with, just saying, helping you keep accountable. That's just real power there. So if you are have been wanting to do a fast, I suggest you do it with a group. um, it just made it more bearable. It just made you feel like it was like, okay, I'm not the only one doing this. So it was just a really beautiful thing. We had a cop in the group, a female cop, and she was out there on the street still busting people, chasing down people. Like she told us about her days that she had during this 21 days, 3 weeks, and she didn't have a desk job. She was out there running and chasing people down and booking people. So that just gave me a whole nother level of power mentally, right? Because I'm like, if she can do that, surely I can sit on my couch and study. Because studying does take mental power and if you feel it physically. But it's nothing like being a cop. Yeah. So anyway, the more I fast, obviously the easier it becomes. And the more you do anything, the easier it becomes. So anybody that's, looking to change how they look at food and change their food addiction, come join me in my school and I will help you find your ways to slowly bring you off of your addiction. It's about being slow. It's about being okay with doing things slowly. We live in this world of instant gratification and we just want things so quick and so fast. It's Ask yourself, how has that benefited you in the past? Trying to remind myself to sip slow. All right, so when I fast, the more that I fast, my cravings get, lower. My intuition just goes up like crazy, and my body thanks me because of the clarity and the energy that I gain and the peace. It's just such a beautiful thing. And every time I fast, I remember hunger ain't always a signal to eat. So remember what we talked about before. Sometimes it's just a doorway to healing, real true healing. Because, like I said, when we're talking about emotional eating, and depending on what you're craving, your body may be asking for a hug. And if you don't have anybody physically to hug, because you may be here, there's so many different situations with people, hug yourself. Hug the hell out of yourself. And then, like I said, doing the alkalizing breaths, that helps your entire nervous system. And that feels like a warm hug. It really does. You guys, if you're tired of being tired, try these tips and let me know in about 2 or 3 weeks. Let me know how you feel. Okay? If you kept doing things that don't work, just try it. Okay? All right. So now let me talk to you guys about my 3-day fast. Um, so last Wednesday, I started off with a quest to do 3 days dry. And so that's Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, meaning obviously no food, meaning no liquids, no water, no shower, no brushing my teeth, no nothing but air. Nothing but air. And I know some of you guys like, oh, well, I know. Again, I'm slightly OCD, so I take minimally 2 showers a day. But that's the point of it. It's to make you uncomfortable, to reach a new level of consciousness. That's the point of it. When you reach a new level of consciousness, you stop yourself from being an autopilot and you ask yourself, hey, do I really want this? And obviously the answer for me during those 3 days was no, I don't want this. This is not what we're doing right now. Okay. So those 3 days were dry. And then so we're into Saturday and today. 2 days, Saturday was just water only and about 15 showers. Because I was just like, oh my gosh, yeah. Like, let me get in that. I'm doing internal showers with the fasting. Now it's time for an external shower. And now today is day 5. And so I broke my fast with, I started out with, trying to remember. What did I do? Oh, chamomile tea. Sorry. Yes, chamomile tea. I've been reading so many different things on what I plan on doing. And so I probably researched about 2 hours. Like, what am I going to do? What's my best steps? So, sorry, chamomile tea. And that was only a fourth of a cup. And then I waited 30 minutes to see how my body would respond. Because when you go for eating for multiple days, your body, you're not sure exactly how your body's going to respond. The first time I fasted, even with a group, that 22nd day, even though you're supposed to mono fruit, the 22nd day, I fried me some cauliflowers, a whole plate. I was like, I don't care. The group leader said, no, mono fruit it, which means just get your favorite fruit and just eat that all day long because you don't want to be mixing a lot of different things in your digestion. That's why my digestive system is messed up now, because not because of that one thing, but obviously, an accumulation of things. But anyway, so I broke my fast today with a fourth cup of chamomile tea, waited 30 minutes, then I had another fourth cup. And so everything was fine, nothing crazy going on. So I was like, all right. I sipped some more water throughout the day, sipping very, very slow, being very intentional about not guzzling and things of that nature. And then I came home to where I made chopped up some fresh ginger, very thin, about an inch thick or an inch long. And then I added just a pinch, of turmeric and black pepper. So I added just a pinch of that. Did the same thing as the chamomile tea, which was just the fourth cup. And then after that, I was like, my body is good. So I had a whole entire cup. If you just notice, I just hiccuped. And I'm just like, where'd that come from? So all of these things, burps, hiccups, heartburn, all of that are signs of our indigestion system, like not responding well to something. So even though I haven't eaten for real in 5 days, I have a very sensitive digestive system. So I'm going to heal it naturally through herbs. So through food, of course, as well. So yeah, I may repeat this process again tomorrow before I add solid foods. But at some point in the next day or two, I'm going to have a very soupy lentil soup. There's going to be barely any beans in it. It's, like I said, just kind of slowly coming back to what my body is going to respond to and slowly refeeding myself. So, yeah, that is the plan. So, are you guys interested in doing a group fast? Have you guys ever done? You've done 3. Okay, awesome. All right. Okay. Anybody else? You've done some. Somebody said I want to. Okay. All right. Let me see on YouTube. You guys done a fast before? Would you guys want to do one as a group? I wouldn't charge anything. I would just ask you guys to be inside of my Skool program, because inside of Skool, I can talk to you guys and give you the real information inside of Skool. In social media, I gotta curb my words. So you would just have to join the Skool, and the Skool gives you a 7-day free trial. And then after that 7th day, it charges you $5. So it's $5 a month. Would that be worth it to help you heal and um, reduce your addiction to food? Would it $5? That's worth it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so hit the link in my bio wherever you're joining YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. School members, you guys are already in, obviously. So join me as soon as you can. Let me know, send me a DM inside of Skool, or you can put it on the community page and let me know if you guys are interested in a group fast. Again, 7-day free trial. If you don't like what you see, you can leave. No harm, no foul, no charges. If you the second week, if you want to stay, it'll just be $5 a month. Not much, right? All right. So I'm gonna get off here, and I thank you guys for joining and learning. Um, yeah, let me know your biggest takeaways. Let me know your biggest takeaways. I'm actually going to get off here and talk to my school members only. But yeah, I appreciate you guys as always. I'll see you next time.